Welcome to Autopilot's training video series designed to help you get the most from your ProfitPilot system. This video will cover credit card processing. Now, let's begin. From your ProfitPilot point-of-sale system, you'll almost certainly want to accept credit cards. You have two separate options to choose from in accepting credit cards. You can use a separate terminal-based system, or you can process your credit cards integrated directly through the ProfitPilot. If you're processing any special type of cards, such as Voyager, Right Express, or GSA government cards, those always must go through a separate terminal. To understand your credit card processing, you'll need to understand the core components behind them. First, you have your merchant services. This is the company that will set up your account, provide your statements, and often provides a web portal that you can log into to view credit card transactions. Then you have the credit card gateway. The gateway provides security and fraud prevention, and all transactions go through the gateway. Finally, you have the actual back-end processor. This is the back-end that you almost never speak with, but those are the folks that give the approval and the denials for all credit card transactions that are submitted. Let's focus on the gateway for just a second. The gateway is one of the essential components in your credit card processing. When determining which credit card provider to go with, the gateway is an essential piece. All internet-based transactions must go through a gateway. The ProfitPilot is a web-based system, so all transactions will go through a gateway. The gateway is what provides your security and your fraud prevention. The ProfitPilot never stores credit card information so that you are not in any kind of a situation where you could be liable for a breach. The gateway absorbs that liability and provides your security and fraud prevention. The ProfitPilot is fully integrated with 4 different gateways. You can choose any merchant provider that you like, you just need to make sure that they're compatible with one of the 4 gateways. The gateways supported by the ProfitPilot are Authorize.net, Exact, Mercury Payment Systems, and XCharge. Authorize.net and Exact are what is called an open gateway. This means that any merchant provider can connect to them. If you're already using an existing merchant provider, you'll want to contact them and let them know that your account needs to be switched over to use one of these 2 payment gateways. Mercury Payment Systems and XCharge use their own proprietary gateway. What this means is that they are a company that provides the merchant service and the gateway account information in one solution. These would be ideal choices if you don't have a credit card processing account already set up for your wash, or if you're unhappy with the merchant provider you're currently using. The equipment configuration at your car wash will determine which gateway providers and merchant services are compatible with your system. We'll go through the 3 different options that are available. If you only have a ProfitPilot at your car wash, you can use all of the gateways that are provided. The ProfitPilot is compatible with all 4 of them. If you have a ProfitPilot at your site as well as HTK automated pay stations, then you will need to choose a provider that will process on the Exact gateway. The HTK pay stations at this time only process on the Exact gateway, so you'll need to use a merchant provider that is compatible with this gateway. You can set up your ProfitPilot credit card processing to also support this gateway. So that way, even if you have a ProfitPilot and HTK'S, you still only have one merchant account and one gateway. If you have a ProfitPilot, an HTK, and the RFID system at your site, you will be required to set up 2 merchant accounts. The first account will process on the Exact gateway and be used for the pay station. The second account will process on Mercury Payment Systems. The RFID system does require Mercury Payment Systems to process their transactions. The ProfitPilot point of sale can go either way, so you can put the credit card processing for your ProfitPilot combined with your HTK or combined with the RFID, but you do still have to set up 2 separate accounts. With the RFID system, you do not have a choice of merchant providers. You will need to contact Mercury Payment Systems and set your account up directly through them. Remember, they own their own gateway and can set up both your merchant account and your gateway account. If you're ready to set up integrated credit card processing, the first thing that you want to do is determine which vendors will be compatible with your equipment configuration. Autopilot does provide a quick reference sheet and a vendor detail sheet in the ProfitPilot manuals or on our website. These information sheets will list all vendors with their phone number and email address so that you may contact them directly. Once you select your vendor, you'll want to complete your merchant applications. Your vendor will provide this information to you. When the merchant account and the gateway account have been set up, there is a series of settings that will be sent to you. Those settings then need to be inserted into your software configuration. If you only have a ProfitPilot, you'll of course insert that information into just the ProfitPilot back office. If you have an HTK, you'll need to enter the settings on the HTK as well as the RFID system. Make sure and run a test transaction so that you know your credit card processing is working correctly before you allow your customers to use it. Verify your bank account information to make sure that your deposits are going into the bank correctly. Once all these steps are completed, you will have successfully set up integrated credit card processing. When setting up your ProfitPilot credit card settings, you're first going to want to log into the back office software. You'll then click the Setup tab. You'll find your point of sale, and then to the right, click the wrench in the Edit column. You'll want to scroll down in the window to the credit card settings. You'll see several fields there with instructions on the right. Enter the settings for your gateway information and be sure to click Save at the bottom to save them. Once the settings have been entered and saved and then downloaded to the ProfitPilot point of sale in a batch, you should be able to successfully run credit card transactions. At the top of this section, you will see a checkbox to enable credit card processing. This is the toggle switch in the ProfitPilot point of sale that tells it to try and process credit cards integrated or to just display a prompt screen if you're using a separate terminal. Make sure this box is checked when you're ready to run a test transaction. If you are going to process recurring monthly transactions, for example using a monthly recurring unlimited wash pass, you do have to process credit cards integrated through the ProfitPilot. Monthly recurring transactions will not work through a separate terminal-based system. When you set up your merchant account, make sure that your merchant knows that you want to process these types of transactions, as the setup can be a little bit different. You'll also want to make sure and check the recurring box in the credit card settings on the ProfitPilot back office, and this will tell the ProfitPilot that you are going to process recurring billing transactions. If you have any questions about setting up your integrated credit card processing through the ProfitPilot, be sure to contact Autopilot Technical Support directly, and we'd be certainly happy to help you. This concludes the credit card processing video. We hope you found the information helpful and informative.